Yo, what is going on, team? This is Art, and I'm going to be going over my trades today. I took a $5,700 profit on Costco, and it ended up coming out pretty nicely, along with a small entry on Exxon Mobil. Ended up making about $3,000 on this play overall, coming out to almost $10,000 for the day. I've been performing pretty decently recently with this market and this recovery that we've had overall with NASDAQ and ES coming back. So that in mind, let's get into it. I'm just going to really quickly go over what I looked at, what I saw, and why I took that trade in particular, why I set my price levels, etc., what my stop losses were, and why they came out how they did. So let's get into it. So firstly, I started off with a Costco play. That was after this morning. I had noticed that we had this inverse head and shoulders kind of forming. And so this kind of ended up looking like a bull flag. So initially when I saw on the hourly chart, or not on the hourly chart, on a 5-minute chart, it looks like a pretty big bull flag. So I had entered it around 323 right here, and we ended up ripping higher, and I sold around 127. And let me see, where is my... here was my profit right here, $5,700. I took 30 contracts at about $6.10 a pop. And with that, I took in about 32% profit. I don't know the exact number, but based off of that bull flag right here on the 5-minute chart, and overall, just the overall bullishness was insane. We had a crossover event in pre-market. We had another crossover event midday. And once it got above 320, I felt a lot more comfortable as we broke this double top. That in mind, we did start getting a little oversold. So that's why I ended up taking my position off the table. And I'm glad I did, because it did ended up sliding towards the end of the day. That said, overall, the position was a little more on the risky side. However, I did kind of mitigate that risk when I took a longer expiry. I took the April 1st expiry with 325 as my strike. It was slightly out of the money at the time. However, the spread for that particular contract was a lot better than the previous 320 strikes. It was about $120 spread for 120 or 320, and the 325s were about 50 cents. So I had entered, and I immediately was down maybe like 3%. But overall, the position came out pretty nicely, and I ended up catching this majority of the move. That said, I am still kind of bullish on Costco as long as the market, as of right now, it is up 3/4 of a point. As long as the market continues to head up, I think we can see Costco hit this hourly 200-a-day moving average. But we do have a reversal to the downside, and it kind of looks like a head and shoulders. However, this could be seen as a bull flag. Something to keep in mind, obviously. We do have a very bullish RSI, so that is also something to keep in mind here. That said, I did end up calling out this position very quickly in my room. There's a link in the description for that. But overall, pretty good entry, pretty good exit, and I really just want to emphasize the contract choice here. I chose the 4/1 expiry because it did mitigate a lot of my risk here. And in comparison to, say, taking the 326s or maybe even the 312s or 319s, it did definitely help out my premiums, as they were not hit as badly when the actual stock kind of fell down a little bit. So I was immediately up when I took this position. That said, though, I bought in at this like 323 break. So this candle right here ended up kind of munching a little bit of my PL, and then this same candle right here, the one following maybe 10 minutes after. But my contracts held really well because of that long expiry, and overall it came out quite nice with the trade. And as long as it stayed above this 324 mark, I held a very nice premium over the other contract choices that had a shorter expiry. And once we actually started seeing Costco move up a little bit, we did hold on to all of the SMAs that we had, along with a crossover to the upside. And that's why we ended up seeing this thing run up to 327 at the high. I sold at about 326 or so, as shown in this screenshot, 326.70. So I hit the top almost perfectly on this stock. So for the day, the high was, let me see if it shows it to me, 327.39. And I missed the top by about 60 cents. That in mind, though, we did start showing overbought. And so overall, the exit was pretty on point. And overall, we made a very nice sum of money off of that play. And this is kind of just that textbook kind of play off the breakout here at 320. I wanted 323 as my confirmation of this double top. And overall, it was just a bull flag. I also took a position in Exxon Mobil. That's right here. I've been very long on Exxon Mobil ever since Biden took office, and that's mainly because of the foreign policy in Syria and all that. I'm not going to get political or anything, but that's just my reasoning behind it. So I've been long on Exxon Mobil since $49 a share, and I'm still holding positions for June expiry. That said, I did take a couple of day trades, and they came out pretty nicely. So overall, not bad. I entered pretty much right at open, and that was off of this 50 SMA hold. Then we broke 200 SMA, and that was kind of my signal to keep going to the upside. I sold at the reversal, and then it headed back down. I bought back in at 50 SMA, and I rode it pretty much up until close. I sold once it started kind of selling off a little bit back down to the 61.50 mark. But overall, it did come out like a very nice trade, and I made about $3,000 on different positions here. Lastly, I just want to go over what I think about the market overall. Here is a NASDAQ. I personally think we have a very big bull pennant right here. We just posted a reversal to the upside not even 4 hours ago. And that said, we also have a crossover about to happen on MACD and a very bullish RSI. So with that in mind, I definitely feel as if we can retest this 13,000 mark for NQ and continue to see this market recover, V-shaped recovery going into the end of this week. As you can see, here's SPY, and we did have that V-shaped recovery with this inverse head and shoulders, and we ripped upwards and continued. Even in after hours, we're up another $2 for SPY. And even for ES, we're up half a point. So that in mind, I am very bullish going into tomorrow as long as these levels can hold, because we have a giant triangle to the upside. We need to continue this little pattern right here, and as long as we break the channel maybe around 39.20, I think we'll continue to head higher. Overall, though, the market has treated me pretty well recently. I made about $23,000 yesterday, and I made $15,000 on Friday. Not bad, just mainly looking at these kinds of setups. I didn't make a video yesterday because I was kind of under the weather. That said, though, I did catch a lot of this huge move upwards for Tesla, along with this huge dump that we had very recently, pretty much today. I didn't catch the majority of this move, but I did catch this little H pattern off of the 200 SMA break to the downside. And that said, it came out pretty nicely overall. And that kind of concludes this video. I do want to make more daily uploads. I was again kind of sick, and I will be doing watch lists a little more often. I feel a lot better, and my voice was a lot more clear. So I do look forward to putting out more live streams, because I do enjoy taking your guys' requests and helping you guys out when it comes to charting, because I feel like there's not enough free education out there for you guys to kind of look at. So that in mind, I am going to conclude the video here. I appreciate you guys all for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Please be sure to like, subscribe, comment, share it to your mom, and I will catch you guys. Peace.